Hello everyone. If you've ever been around a Nigerian and a Ghanaian, you know the jollof rice debate is a serious affair. As a Nigerian working here in Geneva, I've defended my nation's culinary honor in countless good-natured arguments with my Ghanaian friends. We all know who the real winner is, but that's a story for another day. This constant rivalry got me thinking beyond food. We argue passionately about our culture, but what about the first impression we give to the world on a global stage? Specifically, how easy do we make it for investors, entrepreneurs, visitors, and partners to do business with us? So I've decided to shift the competition from the kitchen to the clouds. We're going to find out which country, Nigeria or Ghana, serves up a better digital experience for its business visa requirements. This isn't about feeling, it's about facts. I've created a scorecard based on 5 critical factors. Ease of access. Can you find the visa page in a few clicks? Clarity. Are the rules required and the documents crystal clear? Transparency. Do you know the exact costs and timeline it will take? User experience. Is the website modern and easy to use and navigate? And the 5th one, trust factor. Does the site look and feel secure and legit? We'll be looking specifically at their embassies here in Switzerland. So let's see who makes it easier to do business or to apply for visa to do business in our respective countries. We'll be looking specifically at their embassies here in Switzerland. And first up, I'll start with my home country, Nigeria. So here's the homepage of the Nigerian embassy in Bern. And my goal is to find everything I need for a business visa. So we'll start with information accessibility. And on the initial view, there's no immediate obvious link for visas. I have to scroll down past the fold to find visa application button here. But alternatively, I also discovered that it's also available under services, visas, business visa. So while the information is there, it's not a primary call to action. It took me a couple of seconds of searching. So for information accessibility, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. It's findable, but not effortless. So now for the most important part, clarity of requirements. The page provides a good overview of who is eligible for a business visa. It then lists the requirements: a valid passport for at least 6 months, 2 recent passport-sized photographs, a return ticket, evidence of sufficient funds, evidence of hotel reservation or host address in Nigeria. This is a decent start, but it lacks critical detail. What constitutes, for example, evidence of sufficient funds? What are the specifications for the letter of invitation that a business traveler will surely need? It's an incomplete checklist that leaves an applicant guessing. So for this section, really, I'll give it a 2 out of 5. While the basics are there, there's ambiguity on crucial business documents, which is a major problem. So the next, process transparency. What is the cost and what's the timeline? The page states 2 to 3 working days from receipt of application, which is very clear and a strong point, actually. However, for fees, it simply says, see table of fees on this portal here, which if I go to, I need to copy it, right? And then go there. So you see, if you go there, it doesn't take you to the fees, and it looks like I'll be going into a rat hole. So I'll just come back here. So I have to leave the embassy sites to find the costs, and this is an unnecessary extra step that breaks the user's journey. More concerning is step 4 of the procedure, where it instructs the applicant to proceed to an address in Roswell, Georgia, in the United States of America. This clearly indicates a copy and paste error or a generic template that has been used and that hasn't been customized for the different embassies. And this is a critical failure for a user in Switzerland, for example. It completely breaks the process. So for process transparency, I have to score it a 1 out of 5. The clear timeline is completely overshadowed by the incorrect and misleading address. Next, let's check the digital experience. How does it work on a phone? So to do that, I will create an emulation of what it looks like on a phone. And if we scroll up and down, yeah, it's readable. You can see the same information that we're able to see. We can kind of scroll back up, and you have the menus there as well. You have the service and so on. So it's not bad. The website is responsive, the text is readable. This is crucial because many applicants, especially younger professionals or those on the move, start their research on their phones. However, the core problem remains. The information itself is flawed, and a good mobile experience can't fix incorrect content. So for the digital experience, the site's technology gets a 4 out of 5, but the overall user journey is a 1 out of 5 due to the content issues. Finally, trust and security. Does the site feel legit? Does it feel legitimate? The site uses HTTPS, which is a secured protocol. So there's end-to-end encryption. However, the copy-paste error in the address that I mentioned earlier with the US address is a massive blow to trustworthiness. An applicant could easily think the entire site is fraudulent or outdated, causing them to abandon the process or seek unofficial, potentially risky channels. And this is a critical security and trust issue. So for trust and security, for me, it's a 1 out of 5. An official government site must be accurate and must be trusted. All right, now for Ghana, same task, same criteria. Here's the homepage. First up, information accessibility. Right on the homepage, I see a large, clear online visa application button. There's even a link to a video tutorial on how to apply. For me, this is best in class. For information accessibility, that's a clear 5 out of 5. They've made the primary task impossible to miss. Now let's check the clarity of requirements. The visa page is broken down into incredibly clear collapsible sections. The requirements checklist, for example, is excellent. However, if we look at this section here, the entitlements to a Ghanaian visa carefully, especially in the conditions for the issue of visa. The information is quite dense here and uses formal legalistic language. While comprehensive, the sheer volume could be intimidating for a user. So I'll say a simple summary for key things to know section will make this perfect. So as a result, for clarity of requirements, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It's excellent, but slightly overwhelming. Excellent. But now, what about process transparency? We can see that there's a dedicated fees, right, with a clean table showing costs in Swiss franc for both standard and expedited services. For me, this localization is key. The processing period is clearly stated as minimum of 4 working days. And this is for the burn mission. So this level of detail is quite exceptional compared to the Nigerian one. So I'll give them a solid 5 out of 5. There's no hidden information in this section. Before we get onto the final factor, how does it hold up in the digital experience test? So in mobile view, let's have a look. So if I switch it to a mobile view, so pretending we're on iPhone 12 Pro, experience test. So in mobile view, so the same thing you can see, it's so we have Switzerland. Clearly you can expand the table for the costs, perhaps it's a bit hidden. You can't see the expedited process, but there's a scroll bar there that I assume if you're using a real mobile will allow you to scroll to the side to see it. And you can see the other sections are still collapsible and expandable clearly. So it's almost fully responsive and the menus are quite easy to use. The collapsible sections are a smart choice for mobile, I think. And however, the information density I mentioned earlier is even more challenging on a small screen. A user might have to do a lot of scrolling and reading within each section. So it's very good, but not quite perfect. So for digital experience, I will give them a 4 out of 5, which is quite strong. And finally, the site is secure as well to see. It has .gov.gh, so clearly it's a government domain, and it uses HTTPS, which is a secured version of the HTTP protocol, which means communication is secure, encrypted. And by providing localized, detailed, and accurate information, this builds immense trust. So by this, I'm referring to the Swiss franc use, specifying that it's for Switzerland. You know, there are no conflicting details when I went through the details, no broken links, no question that this is the official authoritative source of information for an applicant in Switzerland. And as a result, I'll give the trust and security a 5 out of 5 because the transparency builds immense trust. And now for the moment of truth. The final tally. Ghana comes in with a near perfect 23 out of 25. Nigeria clocks in with let's call it a room for improvement score of 11 out of 25. So yes, my Ghanaian friends win this round decisively. But the reason is a powerful lesson for any organization or government. It's not about the technology, it's about stewardship. While both countries use a similar website template, Ghana's team treats their site like a garden. It is curated, localized, and tended for its specific audience in Switzerland. Nigeria's site felt more like an abandoned photocopier, spitting out a generic template with a glaring error that directed me to the USA. This isn't a small mistake, it's a trust killer. It tells a potential multi-million-dollar investor, would love your money, but we can't be bothered to give you the correct form. And this shatters confidence even before the relationship begins. And the core lesson here isn't just for governments, but for everyone. Your template is your starting line, not your finish line. The most crucial work is the ongoing, unglamorous job of ensuring the content is accurate and relevant. I am Mohammed. I believe these digital gateways are the most important and often most neglected tools for Africa's economic future. If you agree, let me know which country to review next in the comments. And no, I'm not taking requests for a jollof rice rematch just yet. Thank you.